Working with Young People documentary by Kefni Parsons, Tasha Manley and Kelly Llewellyn. Hi Ross, thank you for attending today. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Thanks for having me today. I'm Ross. I'm 15 years old. Still in school, year 10. Looking forward to finish, to be honest. Just waiting for that. Really, I'm not a big fan of school. Don't really like it very much. So, yeah, just
Okay, thank you. Where do you go to school?
I go to school, the Castle School in Thornbury. It's a small town, small school.
Is it in the city, or you said Thornbury, that's in Bristol, or is
Yeah,
it in the countryside, or?
it's a bit out of Bristol, really. Just a small, quiet town.
Okay.
Bit boring.
Have you been to school since year 7?
No, actually, only started this year. Started year 10. My mum and dad split up, so I moved here.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, so not long at all, really.
So have you made many friends since being here?
A few guys. James, probably my closest friend at the moment. He's pretty cool. Like me, sort of like likes to mess about and things and just have fun. So,
What sort of things do you do when you say mess around?
yeah, just like annoying the teacher and things like that. Yeah, it's a bit mini science, I think. Attaching Bunsen burners to taps and shooting water out of them, things like that. Just, do you mean?
Did you learn that from James, or is it something you both do?
Yeah, he taught me that actually. He taught me that one, and yeah, it's pretty funny. I'd like to do it most lessons just because even when we haven't got Bunsen burners out, just sneak one out and put it on the tap, and yeah, just shoot people. It's just funny, and he
So,
laughs as well, so that's good.
so since being in school, have you faced many problems, either in school or with your peers?
I mean, get in trouble quite a bit by the teachers and things like that. Just messing about really, so they always seem to be in the way. Like we're trying to have fun, trying to do things, and yeah, they just tell me off and stuff for no reason really. Yeah.
Do you deem your education as important?
I mean, obviously we're told it is, yeah, but that I actually think it is, I don't know. It's just more boring, isn't it? I'd rather just deal with something else, do another job. Like, why am I here? It's annoying.
What about with your peers? Do you have any problems with your peers?
Um, Nothing major. Obviously, I'm in a new school as well, so people don't really know me. And I mean, I'm 15 and I've got a lot of facial hair, so people sometimes say things, but try and let it get to me. But I don't. Do you mean it's they don't have a beard, so
Okay, thank you,
yeah.
Ross, for attending. It's been really great. Hi, Ross. Thanks for re-attending. Just a few more questions. Can you tell me what you get up to outside of school?
Yeah. Just messing around really. Just like hanging out with my friends. Play Xbox Live and things, and talk to them on that. Um, and like sometimes when we're out, we'll try and get alcohol and things, and drink beer and football, graffiti or something. But yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay. How would you describe your social class?
I would say I'm working class background. Yeah.
Okay, and final question, how would you describe yourself?
I'm not really sure. I like to have fun. I'm a fun guy. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to describe myself, to be honest. Yeah, just yeah, just fun and human, I guess.
Okay, thanks Ross for attending.
So.
When Ross was asked to describe himself, he did not seem too sure. This is common in most 15-year-olds, and Erickson describes that young people between the ages of 12 to 18 often go for a stage of crisis where they're trying to establish who they are. Jeffrey Kaplan 2000 explains that Erickson was a psychologist, best known for his theory of psychosocial development. They outlined that Erickson created a model consisting of 8 stages of development in life, and each stage faced a crisis. Erickson would describe the stage that Ross is going through as identity versus role confusion. Ross is at the stage now where he is trying to find his identity through wider social circles and external influences. Ross may no longer adopt the views of his parents, but instead be influenced by his peers, so he can make his own opinions, beliefs, and learn about his identity, such as his sexuality. It is clear that Ross is going through this stage as he is rebelling in school despite getting told off by his teachers and conforming to peer pressure to be like his friends. Erikson 1994 suggests that those who struggle with this stage experience real confusion, where they struggle to understand how they fit into society. This can lead to difficulties in progressing through adolescent years, difficulties in forming positive relationships, and may result in depression or anxiety. However, Erikson's psychosocial theory has been criticised by many others. For example, Miller 2002 argues that Erikson does not explain if someone struggles through one stage, how this can impact another stage of development. Similarly, the theory cannot be applied to all cultures. Lastly, the psychosocial theory ignores other theories such as biological influences of development. Ross speaks fondly of his friend James and often imitates his behaviour. One theory of adolescence is social learning theory, which was coined by the psychologist Albert Bandura. Bandura suggested that young people can learn behaviour by observing the consequences of other people's actions. Urban Adolescence 2018 suggests if the consequences led to positive reinforcement, then the young person is likely to imitate this behaviour. However, if it led to a punishment or another form of negative reinforcement, then the young person may be deterred from repeating this behaviour. Bandura developed his idea of social learning theory through the observation of young children. Beckett and Taylor 2016 illustrate that Bandura asked young children to observe adults play with a blown-up clown, known as a Bobo doll. Children who witnessed an adult treat the doll aggressively were more likely to be aggressive towards the doll, whilst children who observed non-aggressive adults had far less aggression towards the Bobo. Ross says that people find it funny when he pulls pranks on the teachers. He receives positive reinforcement, as his friends find him funny, therefore he is more likely to repeat this behaviour in the future.
Discrimination can be based upon many different reasons such as race, age and gender. There is more than one way to discriminate someone, which can include overt discrimination, covert discrimination, individual discrimination and organisational discrimination. According to Payne, he stated that discrimination means that identifying individuals in groups with certain characteristics and treating them less well than people or groups with conventionally valued characteristics. In Ross's case, he suffers from discrimination from his peers. This is due to him being an early developer. Ross has developed his facial hair very quickly and has more than an average 15-year-old boy. This has caused his peers to bully him and make jokes, which has left him feeling a greater amount of pressure to be liked and to find friends which accept him. According to Thompson, negative discrimination involves not only identifying differences but also making a negative attribution, attaching a negative or detrimental label or a connotation to the person, group or identity concerned. Ross suffers from overt discrimination in his local community as the majority of the shops have a limit of 2 school kids at a time. This is due to the fear of the shoplifting. This means that Ross is also attached to this negative label through being in school and being the age that he is. This can affect Ross in many ways. As Anderson 2005 states, that discrimination can have an emotional effect as well as physical. She argues that a young person who experiences discrimination may suffer from increased isolation, depression, mistrust and anxiety. Not only can this affect Ross now, it may affect him later on in life when applying for jobs or colleges. Carolyn Jackson explores how the lad culture can majorly shape the experiences of those in school. She believes that it influences racist and sexist behaviour which can be motivated by many different factors. These could be having a fear of failure and the desire to be popular. In Ross's case, he is new to the school and area, which is resulting in him conforming to peer pressure and acting in a negative way, which would result in him gaining popularity points just to make friends. Jackson 2006 argues that although this laddish behaviour is deemed cool, it actually creates a struggle for young men both socially and academically. Ross is currently struggling to weigh up the benefits that he can take from being in education, and this could be a result of him focusing far more on building these peer relationships and the pressure to be popular. He thinks that going into a job would be more beneficial for him, but this could be due to him not being able to balance his social and academic commitments.
Vaughan 2008 argues that globalisation is now recognised as a key factor influencing the lives of young people, as it has a strong impact on social, economic and cultural development. Bradford 2012 defines globalisation as the connectedness between societies in different parts of the world and the process of social change. With Ross, he experiences globalisation on a daily basis through friendship groups and the usage of social media, including his Xbox Live. Using this form of social media allows him to communicate with others globally, enabling him to engage with new people and learn about their cultures. Born 2008 suggests that living in a globalised world has advantages as people can migrate from all over the world. This gives people like Ross the opportunity to learn about new identities and experience different aspects of different cultures, for example, Chinese and Indian food. This wouldn't have been possible years ago. Another benefit to living in a globalised world is that young people get to experience transnationalism. This is where young people have a wider understanding about events happening all around the world. With Ross living in a city, he will experience transnationalism. It is likely that his classrooms consist of an array of nationalities and cultures, allowing him to expand his knowledge and gain a better understanding of them. However, Beck 2000 argues that living in a globalised world can impact a young person's development, as they are prone to risk and uncertainty as young people no longer feel a sense of purpose. This argument is supported by Ray 2007, who suggests that young people find it difficult to construct social identities, particularly within education. In Ross's case, he has recently moved schools and made new friends. As Ross is still familiarising himself with his school environment, he may feel the want to adopt the identity of his friend James by acting the same. By doing this, he isn't allowing himself to develop his own identity, and instead he may feel more of a sense of security, blending in and being the same as everyone else. This links to the social learning theory as mentioned before. Not only can Ross's peers influence him, but so can his social media. For example, Ross's favourite celebrity may influence the way Ross behaves, but it can also influence the way he presents himself and portrays his personality. Also, through the use of his Xbox Live, he can pick up different aspects of other people's personalities, potentially having an influence on Ross's. Therefore, although Bandura's social learning theory is old, it is still very relevant today, especially when looking at the effects of globalisation on young people.
Salford City Partnership 2009 stated the most effective way to work with young people is to work in partnership with them and involve them in the design and planning of engagement, events and projects. They also suggest that involving other organisations and using interagency working is an effective way of working with young people. CC 2009 illustrates that interagency working involves many organisations that work with the individual. Batsley and Davis 2010 suggest that interagency working has many benefits as they have the ability to access more services and gives better links between different service providers. This allows a more seamless service. Atkinson et al. 2002 identified 5 models of interagency working. He did this through observation of multiple different professional groups working together. These models include decision-making groups, consultation and training, centre-based delivery, coordinating delivery, and operational team delivery.
As youth workers, we are using the coordinating delivery model to support Ross, as we are able to pull together services and get them to deliver more coherently. For example, we have encouraged Ross to attend our youth club, allowing him to make new friendships without behaving in a negative way. We also bring in tutors to help those who need extra support academically on our designated days. This benefits Ross as he struggles balancing his social life with his academic commitments. So by carrying this out, this allows him time to do both in a supportive environment. To support Ross with his personal issues and help him come to terms with the separation of his parents, we are encouraging him to work with his school support worker so that he can openly speak out without feeling judged and embarrassed. By doing this will stop his negative behaviour and allow him to find his own identity. As we work in partnership with other agencies and Ross, we are always recognising and respecting what is important to Ross, which helps to achieve a stronger relationship and build rapport. This allows us to contribute to his social, educational and personal development without failing to recognise Ross's own opinions, which must always be made a priority as we recognise Ross as a partner in the learning process. By doing this, we are always following the national occupational standards.